So let's go with that. So what I'm here to present today to all of you, maybe you heard about that technology, maybe you know, is graph databases. So graph database is something that is really not that popular yet in Asia. It's heavily taken care of in the US. So majority of the banks in the US are implementing graph, and it's something that we are also promoting in the region as we speak. So it's taking the curve of being extremely useful and extremely relevant, particularly for big organizations, and particularly in situations of open banking, when customers have more access and more control of the data that they have. That give access to the customers to remove a lot of access to yourself to control the data. So there must be a way to keep that secure and so that you're still compliant, even when the customer can apply all these modifications and confirm that the data, that you make better use of the information. So, all right, so let's go to what are the classic things that we tend to see in open banking, the things that we would like to have resolved as quickly as possible. Usually, we would like to be able to recommend the next best action for anything. So automatically, if there is some customer doing a good thing, we want to recommend, okay, now you can keep on going for the rest. So that is a situation that may be fully automated right now, or you may need to involve a lot of manual work to do. Obviously, fraud detection, that is a nightmare for everybody, everywhere over the world. It's not getting any better, it's actually getting worse. So sadly, fraudsters becoming more and more intelligent, they have better business cases, it's hard to catch them, so it's something that is not going to go out anytime soon. Find similar customers. This is an area of extremely important in marketing, ensuring that you have this good customer, we have anybody who is similar to this person, being able to identify them immediately. Improves ad targeting effectiveness, so ensuring that you are targeting the right people with the right campaigns. And identify supply chain weaknesses. If you are in any type of delivery or any type of implementation of anything, ensuring that you don't have any struggles with that. Just for you to understand what graph is. This is probably the best graphical way that we can display your data right now. So right now, you will have your customer, you will have an account open, transaction, all the data about the customer. All that information is in your database, but it's not connected between them. So you have the account name, you have certain type of aggregations that you do about those customers, but not much more than that. Now, in real life, data is not like that. In real life, data is actually connected to each other. You have people sending money to other people, you have people who live in the same app. So the accounts are sending money between them, you have shares account between people, you have shared information, all that information is connected. And the challenge that you probably will find in your organization is how to get this in the report, how to get this useful for me. You have the data, you probably have it in silos all over the place, and the more control in open banking that you give to customers, the more you will get disconnected. So how do you actually make sense of all this? And a little bit of that one is related to the way that it is stored, and this is includes some history lane. So key value storage of data is the classic messages goes. Mainframe coming and going, text messages, I send you a text message, it comes back, there's no relation to something. Documents, the thing that we have always seen, the Excel spreadsheets or PDFs or whatever it is. Relational database is the most common and proven method of storing data at the moment, which is Oracle, SQL Server, which are ones. And now is Graph. Graph is an evolution of relational databases in the way that the data is stored. And probably the best way to explain is something like this. So you have two tables of data here. So this is the way that the data is stored at the moment in a relational database. You have a column, a name, a location, a product, etc., etc., and then you have each one of the values. Now, this is the way that the data is stored in Graph. So what you have here and here is exactly the same information. The difference is that here, the information has already built connections based on the data provided here. So we know that David and Lisa, they are siblings. So that is a really strong bond. So they have different account numbers, they have different names, but they are brothers. So for a networking point of view, for a negative or a positive analysis, it's really important to know that they are brothers. Now, Lisa and this other guy, Julian, they actually transact in the same bank. That is somewhat relevant, may or may not. So many people share banks. That is a relationship, but it's not really a strong relationship. When you have challenges with rules, with machine learning, with any type of AI activity, is because you are forced to provide this data to a machine learning model. And the model needs to build all these relationships on the fly. It needs to ensure that this person lives in this person and they go to this bank and they transfer money to this person. Now, when you have the information in graph, that relationship has already been built. So there's no need of computational performance to create this, and the model can run immediately. So it's just a query. Go here, 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 and go there, and then you find something. And each one of those links, as I was mentioned before, has a different weight. So some things are more important than other ones. If I am sharing the same device with another person, that's a really strong link. If I work in the same building that another person, it's really not that strong link because 300 people can work in the same building. So, graph gives you access to many algorithms, and this is a little technical, I'm sorry about it, that a relational database cannot give you. And those are based on the dependencies. So, you have connections of clustering, you have similarity, centrality, flow analysis, margin pattern. Something like clustering, for example. Group certain people with certain characteristics together. So that will tell me this is a good customer. These other guys who live around the same area, who make a similar type of income, who actually shop in the same places, they are as good customers as the guy that I'm detecting. All that can be detected on the fly. Now, what that means that if you deal with any data scientist and they will tell you, well, my machine learning model can get until here because I don't have good data. You probably heard that many times if you tell with any data scientist. So graph will provide you better data. And because it provides you better data, that is what Gartner has confirmed, that we have lived 80% the AI and machine learning models that you already have without any of creating new ones. Because we are just giving more information to the existing model. So that is the analysis, and that is why graph is the technology that all the big banks in US and Europe are implementing at the moment, because it gives them more power to their existing models. Some idea of who's Tigergraph, who are customers, financial services, MasterCard, UnionPay, Piñan. If you see that, they are all big data companies. So Piñan, China Construction Bank, UnionPay, Visa, MasterCard. The reason why they choose Tigergraph is because they have too much data and they cannot handle the volume. So every time that they need to break these connections, the system crashes, or they need to break it in silos, and they do, for example, MasterCard, before they got Tigergraph, they were doing one US state, and then another state, and then another state. Obviously, the connections between the people that moves around were not there, but because they couldn't actually compute all the data that they had. So that is also work for other reasons, for media tech and telecoms and healthcare. Telecom is another interesting example because telecom is a situation where they are sending and receiving data as well. So that's a classic graph problem. Could be for a breakdown in the network, one antenna is down, how many customers are affected by this? Or it could be like these people is calling these other people. So what is the relationship between them? So this is what you get when you get Tigergraph. So when you get Tigergraph, you get a case management function, so a user interface. You get a data scientist, data engineer, DevOps system to create your own models or modify existing models, play with the models, give it to the data scientists, give it to business analysts, and do whatever they feel like want to do. Analytics engine and machine learning could be a SaaS implementation or could be an on-premise implementation, whichever you feel like. And obviously for the cloud implementation, we have the three classic Azure, AWS, and Google. In the case that is what you prefer to do. Some banks in the regions are fully moving to cloud, particularly the digital ones. Other ones are just choosing to stay on premises. Again, same thing for us. It's just how we deploy, not what you get. Now, I'm going to go in particular use cases, and this is a classic situation to show you how graph increases the accuracy. Imagine this is a classic payment situation. You have a user, phone number, account, email, credit card, and that's payment. So that payment goes to another account. All good. Everything looks fine, everything's fine. Now, that account has a user who has another phone number. Now, the further we go down the network, we can identify that that phone number is shared by a device, that actually it belongs to another phone number, That belongs to a non-fraudster. So, what will happen with the standard transactional fraud detection system? It will get until here. Because it can only detect the transaction and the payment, nothing else. So that's as far as you can get. Now, when you have graph, you can go further down the network, start jumping what I call hops, from hop to hop. And then when you get further down the network, you realize, oh, wait, it's connected. So this person is actually sending money to another person, to another person, to another person that we know is a fraudster. So that is the fraud case. This is the extensibility that Graph gives you to the existing fraud detection product. You can keep your fraud detection product and introduce Graph to make it faster, better, and more expensive, or you can have Graph directly and work in your fraud detection system. Now, another classic situation, customer entity relationship resolution. So, this is probably going to happen to you as well. You're going to have this guy, Robert Evans, and in 4 databases, he has 4 different names. Same person. But in one has a full name, in the other one only has the last name, in the other one has the address but not the phone number, in the other one has the email and the ID but not the address, etc. So when you actually run a report in this person or try to find who he is, you have 4 answers. So this is something that a graph resolves, because what we will do is we will establish connections between these nodes and we'll be able to find similarities, and we can create a virtual identity of this guy, Robert Evans. So Robert Evans will be only one, and you don't need to go through 4 databases to get them. So we usually recommend to start with this first, because if you try to put any other type of product, fraud detection, AML, even customer 360, or even automation or any other option, what will happen is you'll have 4 alerts, or 4 customers. Now, if you have this first of all, you minimize all that one, and then you have less false positives, then you have less alerts, then you have that, don't target the same person 4 times. Another one, customer due diligence. So another classic situation, you're going to have certain lists that you need to check, and those certain lists will actually be going to a company here or there. Now, obviously, you can only do a direct check. You cannot go further down the road. Now, when you have graph, you can go through this network and identify that the company, through is connected to a politician that is also has an address that they go back to the same company. So this is a classic situation that money launderers or fraudsters do. They don't go themselves because they know they're blacklisted. They have a third party or a mule account or a shell company that is the one that upfronts for them. With graph, we are able to detect that they are connected in some way because they share the same phone number, because they share the same address, or they share certain characteristics. Another one. This is another one for customer acquisition. So, credit risk. This is the application that we have. The application that we have will have the classic credit checks, so your databases confirm that they have good score, confirm that it's not restricting their data, etc. Everything is fine. Now, what happens when we have graph? We can identify that application is sharing an IP address and phone number with another previous application that was declined. Why it was declined? Because we can confirm that it becomes some suspicious behavior after credit has been approved. It's a first payment default. Now, so far in your relational database, you can only get under here. When you have graph, you keep on going through the network, and this is real time. Because remember, this network has already been created. It has no need to be built on the fly. So you just need to run a query when you have the new application. The collection of the new application is done, and all the other ones are already there. So that is real time, extensive real time for giving you more power. And remember, open banking is all about this. It's all about the customer to do everything themselves. So you need to put some boundaries to say, do I want to deal with this person? Is this something that is, I'm interested? Are they trying to falsify information to try to get an approval where they shouldn't? And nothing is more rough than money laundering. So money laundering is transfer money from account to account and transfer money from place to place to try to disguise and to try to simulate that fraudulent money movement is actually a bad one. So that is a graph situation 100% because it's no to know. In most banks, this information will go out of the bank and will in again at some point as well. All the banks have that challenge, like I cannot see what happens when the money leaves my bank. And even when it leaves the bank, there are some characteristics that they're going to be the same when they are fraudsters. They're going to receive the money from the same device ID, or they're going to actually send it to the same account. They're going to have similar things between them. So you can find a circular trading with Graph really easily. And that's why we actually have a lot of success uplifting AML solutions. Because they run their own rules, they run their own product, and they have the problem that AML solutions have, they have a lot of false positives. So what we do with Graph is we extend those capabilities to actually remove false positives and increase the accuracy, because we can actually go further down the road. And then we can tell you, this is a good thing, or wait, we are missing this one, this is suspicious. And a good example. So let's say that you want to identify a good customer. You are trying to identify if that customer over there is actually further down the road, have a certain type of relation which is not direct to someone that you want to deal with. So you know that this guy here, because on the right side, is a good customer. Now, how many other customers are related to this directly or in the weight graph? You can get that again in only one query. So you identify who are the customers of my good customer. Are they actually potential targets as well for my promotions? There you go. It's just fly all the way back. And similar, when you try to detect certain particular things. For example, I want to detect the customers who are more actively with Glovo or Unilever or big corporations that I know they actually spend more money. So again, you can get only the direct ones. You cannot get the training behind it. So with Graph, you not only get the direct connection of information between them, you can also go further and draw something like here. And this person as well is also a customer of my customer, or a partner of my customer, or the shareholder of my customer, and that is another person that I want to. So you will increase your visibility with information that you already have. It's just a matter of putting it together. Now, real life examples. MasterCard. So MasterCard US, the example that I was giving before, couldn't handle all the data that they have. They have all MasterCard transactions in the US. They have a lot of information. They could detect individual fraud. They couldn't detect fraud rings. Because what happened there is that they have so much data that they couldn't put them together. So what we did is we put Graph there. We just bring the characteristic of the card transaction, and we actually save 5 billion screens, billions of transactions, and you imagine MasterCard US has a lot of transactions. So we safeguard that one, and we actually need to work in 30 milliseconds as a credit card transaction. Authorization goes with payless, contactless payment, has 0.03 seconds to get that done. Again, no need to compute anything because it's just a link. It's just a query that goes through an already created schema. Now, this is a bank in the US. So they have a similar situation but MasterCard for SMEs. So the problem that they have is they have all these applications approved, some of them declined. They could detect the individual fraudsters, but they couldn't identify if they were part of a big organization. Same situation, we actually loaded 20 terabytes of data, more than 20 actually, and we were able to identify that several of these people were connected to other people that they were not alerted as fraudsters before. So we extend the level of detection that we have, and we prevented for these customers that they were not alerted before to be able to apply new products. So that is the falsification, the window shopping that is called I am in collusion with the fraudster, so I am behaving properly because the fraudster is here. So in order to increase my credit score, and when I have a good enough credit score, I apply for a big product, a personal loan, whatever it is, get the cash, you never hear about me again. And blockchain. So that is, again, blockchain is a massive graph problem. Why? Because blockchain is essentially cryptocurrencies, it's anonymous. So you can only see the exchange words. Now the exchange, they have a problem because they cannot actually identify, they are regulated in many countries, but they cannot actually see where the money is going. So we partner with Merkle, an organization in the US as well. And what we did is Merkle had a list of blacklisted or watchlisted exchanges. So we put that in a graph of all those exchanges that they were alerted, and we say, tell me all the other exchanges that they are interacting with these ones. So based on that one, we were able to identify, okay, all these other exchanges are heavily interacting with these ones that we know are blacklisted. And we were further down the network, we could identify many other more which were bad. Again, 100% they got a problem because it's money moving to one, crypto moving to one exchange to the other one. So this is a massive network of exchanges, and we were able to shut down several, not shut them down because they're still operating, but ensure that organizations not actually operate with them anymore. And this is not a banking example, but it's a really good example for entity relationship, which is HBO. So HBO has the problem of it started as a partner network for local cable stations. Then it began to be a worldwide, actually first it was a US only station. Then it became a worldwide partnership with every cable, not every cable, but many of the cable networks all over the world. And now become online. So it's HBO Max in the US, it's HBO Go here in Asia. Now, because of this, they have a massive problem with database. Because the same customer that they had as an initial customer, then it became a national customer, then it moved overseas, so it was an international customer. The international customer also has a digital account. Are they the same customer or not? So they tried to do that with a relational database, they couldn't do it, and we helped them with that. We dropped Tigergraph there, we created all the networks and all the entities, and we managed to merge, in the example that I was mentioning before, that these 2 customers, these 3 customers, these 4 customers are actually the same customer. It's the same person that lives in the same house, or it's the son or the daughter of the person that lives in the same house, so they could be considered the same family or the same entity of people. And that, every time that they need to trigger a new campaign, they obviously reduce costs massively because a lot of this is printed material, so it costs them money to ship them. And also, the fact that people does not get annoyed because we receive 4 times the same promotion. So we know that is one person we go to the main account. And that is it. Any questions, any concerns? We have a booth on the back, and I'm happy to go through it.